Oh, I see. That'll work.
It always does. It always comes down to this. Sunday night.
Hi, and welcome to Australian Gamers Friday Night Podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Yug.
Tonight we'll be talking about Microsoft's launch of the Xbox 360 in Japan.
And we'll also be talking about the new motorbike game that's being made by the Gran Turismo people.
Yeah. So...
Thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
Well, I've never said that before, actually.
Not at the start, we say it at the end all the time.
Well, because, by the time people get to the end, I can't believe they've actually lasted that long. So I just wanted to get that in now.
Yes.
So I can say thank you now as opposed to later.
I wanted to say a quick hello to someone.
Yeah.
I wanted to say a quick hello to the guy on who you mentioned in that forum, who
Which
was...
guy?
I can't remember the guy's name now, but he knows who he is. That listens to us in the morning, on a Saturday morning. He downloads the podcast on Friday night, listens to it. So, Saturday morning, someone's lying in bed,
half naked, listening to me and Matt talk to each other.
You know what I reckon?
What?
I reckon he's playing with himself.
Let's talk about games. Xbox 360.
I just wanted to get off to a flying start.
Yeah, that's good. That's raising the bar, Matt. Thanks, as well as people's erections. But anyway, let's talk about video games.
Video games.
You wanted to talk about Xbox 360?
Xbox 360 in Japan.
Man, it's just gone so good. They've just sold
twice
sold out.
As
many Xboxes as they had originally.
They're actually selling more Xbox 360s per second than they ever sold of the Xbox.
You know what? That wouldn't be hard, though.
No, you would have to sell like one. Also,
we're full of crap.
All of this is a lie.
It hasn't done very well at all.
Not very well.
Which I think has surprised no one.
No.
Really. Which, it's not...
what is fair to say, though, is it's done better. But that's kind of like saying being kicked in the shin is better than being kicked in the balls. It's not.
It's not like they. It's not like they've had a bad launch. It's just sort of been what's been expected because the Japanese market is just so different. They like their fantasy games. US audiences like their guns and violence and games and stuff like that.
It's a pity though because guns and violence is so much easier to do.
Yeah.
Those RPGs and so on take a long time to develop, especially seeing as Microsoft would always have had a hard sell getting those Japanese RPG developers on site in the first place.
I actually find it a little bit of a cop-out. They're saying a lot with this whole Japanese launch that it's all good. We're actually really targeting the Japanese developers and things like that. Like, we've got Square Enix on board, and they're making a game that's been out for the last year or so for the Xbox. Like, that's not... I don't really see that as a sell. I don't know if the Japanese market do, but
I doubt they would either.
When they make a game that's specific to the Xbox, or when they release a Final Fantasy game that's not multi...
Or when they... I see 99 Nights being a really good seller if they can get that happening soon.
Yep.
But those games, you can't just churn them out. They take a lot of time.
Yeah.
Very long development cycle, and really Microsoft needed the blaze of glory they've had in Europe and in America to sell in Japan, and they haven't had it, and they're not going to have it. This is as good as it's going to get.
Well, the other main things, of course, are the fact that the whole Xbox Live functionality and the high definition TV. I have no idea how big they are over in Japan in regards to those technical.
Didn't we talk about this last week?
As if I'd remember.
That's right. I think they're actually pretty advanced, particularly with high def and so on.
So they would be interested in stuff like that.
Yeah, but they're still gamers, and it's still all about the games. You can't just go, this console has no games you're interested in, but they're all in high def.
No, but the difference is if you walk past a store and you see this new console, this new system playing games on high def TV in a store in Australia, we walk past and we'd go, wow, that's really nice, but you know what, I have to buy one of those TVs as well.
I actually disagree. I think if you walked past the store and they had a high definition TV, not a plasma or something, but a CRT high def, people would walk past and go, wow, that looks amazing, this console is amazing, I must buy it. Then they'd get home and find it actually doesn't look as good on their TV. But that's not really the point. In terms of selling the console. Your point? Pretty much my point is you're an idiot and you're wrong about whatever you said.
I don't even know what point I was trying to make. How can my point be wrong?
So I'm arguing an illogical point in response to the one you don't know what you're saying.
That's right.
Okay.
Nice. Nicely done.
Thanks for tuning in.
Well, the conclusion is it isn't going very well in Japan,
no.
But I would imagine that is what Microsoft expected, so I don't think it's really that big a problem at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think Microsoft really had their entire company future riding on Japanese success.
The only plan that I do know that they have, which is what we read before, was that they plan to sell 2.75 to 3 million Xbox 360 units, all up in the first 90 days from the launch. Which, might I add, completely cuts out any of the sales in Australia, of course.
Yeah, of course, because it's not within 90 days.
Yeah, but I think that's probably doable, considering that they haven't actually released that many consoles. Realistically,
what it comes down to is they'll sell as many consoles as they can make.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really matter that much how well they do in Japan. It matters how well they do in the US.
Well, it matters how they do in Japan, but...
long term, yes.
Long term, but not short term, because everyone knows they won't do very well.
But there is something that I have to say in response to this whole thing, which is simply that if Japan isn't supporting them, and Japan never was going to support them, why didn't they give us some of the consoles bound for Japan? Because the people running stores in Japan are saying they expect to still have stock. Yeah. They don't expect to sell out.
Yeah, this question just keeps going round and round. Or these things that we talk about. What if? Why didn't they send it here?
Yeah, I know. You know what? I'm going to keep bitching about it until it's out here, and then I'm going to keep bitching after that because it's still bullshit. And we started this site in the first place to whinge about this kind of thing. That was all we wanted.
That's true.
All we wanted was a place to whinge.
God, isn't that true?
Free stuff.
You are a whinger. That is true.
We wanted a place to whinge, and so are you. We wanted free stuff, and we wanted, I think, girls.
No, wanted girls.
That was just me.
Right, and that worked out so well for you.
Did, actually. Worked out once, that's enough.
Yeah, right. Well, let's move on. Let's move on. You actually want the girls. No, you want to talk about there's some new Gran Turismo game, motorbike Gran Turismo game.
Yeah.
I don't really care about motorbikes. I'm not a big... I don't care. I'm not into them. I played MotoGP for 5 minutes and went, this is kind of boring. So I'm not into it. Matt's...
Alright, well, there is a big difference between this and MotoGP. Quite a few big differences. One is the name. It has a different name.
Wow, thank you.
I don't know what that name is.
Oh, really? So it might have the same name.
It might have the same name, but it doesn't.
You don't know that?
I do know that.
Whatever, keep going.
I think it's called Motorbikey.
No, you have no idea.
Racy.
You're so full of it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, that's what you're full of.
Intestines.
Yeah, whatever. Keep talking.
Yeah, well, basically, someone over at whatever the company... Australian Gamer always informed.
Right, okay.
Polyphonic, I think, is their name.
Yeah, isn't that a ringtone?
Yes.
Right.
Polyphony. Oh, no, I'm not making this.
No,
I might be making this up.
You're taking guesses. Keep going.
I'm taking guesses, but anyway, the company that makes the Gran Turismo games is deciding that it's about time to make a Motorbikey one.
Probably because they feel there's not all the... I mean, once again, I don't totally know.
Okay, I'm just going to preempt you here and say there is no other game like that. Is that what you mean?
I was going to say that maybe there's just not that much more they can do with the
with cars.
Gran Turismo series. I mean, I'm sure there is, but I'd imagine they'd be pretty damn over it by now, sort of thing.
Yeah,
at the very
least,
I want to make something different. Or can we do something different?
Can we do an elephant-based platformer now, please?
And I would imagine Bikes is still well within their technical grasp of,
they're actually very different.
Lot of experience, but it's easing the transition to other different games apart from car games.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was my stomach.
Nice. Glad your stomach could join us for the podcast as a special guest.
Get its own microphone. All night.
Yeah, the thing is there actually isn't any other game like this. And it's easy to look at MotoGP and say, well, there's MotoGP, but actually, for a start, that's only one game. And secondly, it's not even anything like it, because MotoGP is a pure race, high-end. It's like a Grand Prix game.
So it's like comparing Daytona to Gran Turismo, or...
Well, yeah, pretty much. Or Need for Speed Underground.
Probably Ridge Racer would be closer, actually. Or it's something a bit more...
Well, not really even, because Ridge Racer is very arcadey. Gran Turismo is very, very not.
No, I meant the Ridge Racer equivalent is MotoGP. I'm trying to think races, tracks. Maybe more Project Gotham is. Anyway, that's irrelevant. Keep talking.
No, it's actually very relevant, because my point is that while MotoGP is very, very much pure racing, I mean, the types of motorbikes they race in MotoGP leagues are worth $1 million, $2 million each. These are not street bikes.
So that means you'll be able to completely customize your own bike and.
I don't think they're going very far in the customization thing.
Really?
Well, from what I read, there's not as much setup as you can do in Gran Turismo 4, for example. But there is limited amounts you can do. But the point is, you can race actual bikes, Ducatis and
street bikes,
Kawasaki's and that kind of thing. Real
cool.
Bikes, real street bikes.
That seems pretty cool.
So that's actually never really been done before. There's not really any bikes. I mean, you can race bikes by those manufacturers in MotoGP type games, or MotoGP, which is I think the only MotoGP type game. But to be able to race the street versions is new.
You can play on bikes in San Andreas and Vice City.
So anyway, that should be good.
Hey, just quickly, a big shout out to. We actually went to a barbecue on Sunday and met up with some of the people from the Game Arena forums.
Yep.
That was good fun.
It was good fun.
It was surprisingly good fun, actually.
Yeah, we burnt things. You burnt
things.
I burnt things. I made fire.
I mean, here's the deal. I mean, it's a bunch of self-confessed gamers coming together on a Sunday afternoon and having a barbecue sort of thing. I wasn't surprised by the lack of organisation that actually occurred. I think no one really knew how to cook a barbecue to start with.
Well, I did. I cooked barbecues heaps.
Well, except for you, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it was like, does anyone actually know how to cook? And
eventually I just went, yeah, I'll do it. So I went and made fire.
Did you actually know how to cook?
Yeah.
Just checking.
Cooked on barbecues heaps, dude.
Just checking.
It's not hard. It's a hot thing. You put the things that are raw on the hot thing, and they get unraw. It's not that complicated a procedure.
I'm not saying it's complicated. I was actually surprised that you were able to cook a barbecue.
Well, I'm just surprised you're able to walk and speak at the same time.
Oh, yeah, well, so am I. But no, it was a good day. Any of the guys who are tuning into the podcast, we apologise for making you sit through this, but
I
don't really have much else to say.
I
think the highlight of the day for me was actually everyone just standing around the barbecue watching Matt cook and just generally abusing him for his pink shirt.
Yeah, I was wearing a pink shirt, which was a cool shirt. And I've been told by actual girls was a cool shirt. So really what a bunch of nerds say about my shirt is of little or no interest to me.
How much did you pay those girls? Sorry, what did I say that?
No. It was interesting because early on I did, because I knew what was going to happen, I did mention that these are sausages, and sausages take a long time to cook. And I did say that to forestall people asking after 5 minutes.
Didn't stop anyone though.
No, not at all. Every 5 minutes. They done it? When I said these would take a long time to cook.
Yeah, you were getting pretty antsy. I thought you were anyway.
Every 5 minutes. Because everyone seemed to think that it was different because they didn't ask last time.
I thought it was hilarious, but then again, I was the only one drinking too, which was
Yeah, that was a bit disturbing. Yug was the only one drinking. We bought a 4-pack of bourbons between us, which he has not yet paid me for.
You drank one.
I drank one, half of one, and then you put out your cigarette in it.
You weren't going to drink the rest of it.
I definitely wasn't after that.
Well, you said you weren't. Anyway.
So yeah,
that
was lovely.
But yeah, it was a good day, and it's good. I think there's a link on the front page which links to the forum that that Hawk made with photos and videos and
there's a link to the forum,
anecdotes.
And the forum post has a link back to us, so you can actually sit there clicking back and forth.
Well, if you have nothing else to do,
but
go
you
nuts.
can. It's important that you can.
Okay, that's nice.
And you can just click. I did it. I did it for about an hour earlier. Yep. Yeah, kept me entertained for a while.
Good for you.
I don't know.
All right. Well, what else do we want to talk about?
I don't know. We should probably mention our plans over Christmas. Do we know what we're doing yet?
Well, we won't be doing one podcast. We will be.
Will we do the next podcast, or are we missing the next podcast?
I don't know. What's the date? No. Okay, we're doing one more podcast.
Yep.
And then we're not doing the podcast just after Christmas, before New Year's Eve.
Alright, so no apologies for missing the next podcast, because we won't actually be missing the next podcast.
Next podcast.
But the next podcast will apologise for missing the next podcast.
What? No, don't say it again. What was that?
I have no idea. But for everyone, it's time to turn the page. It's funny.
Yeah. Anyway, Matt's going away.
I think what that actually is a reminder from Office to say that it's Janet's birthday.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually Janet's birthday.
Happy birthday.
In 20 minutes. I don't know if she actually listens to this since
happy
she
birthday.
dumped me, but
happy birthday. Give Matt's DS games back.
Yeah.
Because I want to play them.
Because we went out for a while and I gave her my DS games and then she broke up with me.
See, that's true love. I love you. Here, have my DS
now
games. Alright, now I'm out of here.
Now I want my games
She
back.
dumped him pretty much as soon as she got his DS games. That was it. So
yeah.
It's all over. Hey, might I add, I was very disappointed about that Game Arena the Game Arena meet thing. Was disappointed that people didn't bring enough.
Yeah,
DSs
what's with that? I expected a plethora. I expected someone to bring out like a plate covered in PSPs and DSs and everyone selects one.
I mean, not that, it's a bad thing I didn't have fun. It was good just sitting around and chatting, and, obviously most of us actually had a lot of the same interests and same things. Matt's actually being extremely rude. He's taken his headphones off and coughing into a pillow. That's probably not very rude at all. That's probably a good thing. You back now?
But thanks for drawing attention to my illness.
Well, look, honestly,
I have a tumour. I have lung cancer, and that's why we're missing the next podcast, because I'll be dead.
I just was getting scared there. I was starting to feel like Garth in Wayne's World, the movie, where Wayne just walks off and he's left there, and it's like,
I'm having fun.
I mean, not that I'm like Garth and you're Wayne. Right now.
Oh.
No.
I'm Wayne.
No. No way.
Where's Tia Carrera?
That so doesn't work.
I like Tia Carrera.
Yeah.
She was better then, though, because she was, young.
Yeah.
She wasn't that young, but now she looks really old. Have you seen her now? She's got skin like leather.
Yeah.
Her skin looks like elbow skin, but the skin on her face looks like elbow skin.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing. Anyway, over Christmas. Where are you going over Christmas?
I'm going to North Queensland. I'm going to Ayr and Townsville. AYR, not AIR.
Do you know people up there, or are you?
No, I just figured I'd fly randomly up to a North Queensland destination and just sit at the airport and hope somebody takes pity on me.
That's a good plan. I reckon there'll be plenty of people that would do that, actually. Most
Possibly.
people would take pity.
Little lost puppy dog look.
I mean, at the very least, they'd probably give you some food or something, you know. Or...
Anyway, my mum lives up there, remember?
Right. No, I don't remember, of course.
No, that's a silly thought.
And I'm off to the Gold Coast for a week or two.
Yeah, so we're going to take some time off over Christmas because you know what? People do that, so leave us alone.
Yeah.
But we're going to try to miss as little as possible because we want to...
Well, keep updating the site and keep people actually coming back and going, oh, there's something new. Which reminds me, I should mention, you have to look at our top 50 games.
Yep, top 50
of all
games.
time, which we started last week.
It's pretty arbitrary.
What's that mean?
It's pretty.
Isn't that where they cut up meat and stuff?
Yeah. That's an abattoir, but that's cool.
Right, got it, yep.
Yeah, it's pretty much in order, but it's not really that in order. It's we kind of negotiated a fair bit.
Well, here's the thing, like, Matt chose 50, I chose 50, and we emailed them to each other and sat down and went through them, and we only had 15.
That were the same of our top 50.
Yeah, so which I thought that was quite interesting, actually, because I thought we would have had
very different.
much more.
I think a lot of that, we discussed a lot of that, and in fact our top fives, I think, had nothing in common, did they?
No, my top five was completely different to your top five.
Yeah, we had totally different games, and a big part of that is because Yug's background is from a Nintendo fanboy kind of point of view, and my background is more on the Sega side and on the early PC games.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, I'll go with that. And you're a lot older.
Yeah, that and I'm older, so the games I played when I was a kid are kind of made of rock.
Yeah, they are rocks. They're just two rocks, and you hit them together, and they make a noise.
If you get a spark, you win.
Did you ever win?
No.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, check that out.
We'll keep updating it pretty constantly. Every couple of days, we'll
I'm pretty proud of it, actually, because I mean, everyone does a top 50 list. Everyone, but this isn't anyone else's top 50. This is ours. This is ours. I mean, there's some games on there that I would not recommend to other people.
No, but they're ones that really meant a lot to us at the time.
Exactly, and I think they're the most interesting lists. I mean, you see all the magazines come out and websites go, these are the top 50 games of all time as voted by all our readers, and that's great. But when you get thousands of people voting on these games, the top 10 or the top games are going to be the typical ones that you kind of always expect.
GoldenEye.
There was a thing on GameSpy a while ago where they did a top 50 games, but in between they actually had the top 10 games of a lot of famous developers.
Oh yeah.
Like Sid Meier and Peter Molyneux and
Molyneux. He's French.
Molyneux.
You don't pronounce the X.
Molyneux. You don't pronounce the X.
No.
There you go. Anyway, Gabe Newell and all the top 10, and it was really, really interesting because they had a lot of offbeat ones or really strange ones as number ones, and it was like, that's interesting to see. I wish they would have said why those were the top 10s. Why is that your number one? Well, because I played this when I was young and had this effect on me, and or I liked the music in this and it inspired me to do this, or I like those kind of things the most, not just this was such a critically acclaimed fantastic game. I know that. Give me something that I don't know.
We all know Deus Ex was good.
Yeah, we all know Deus Ex was good. We all know the Zelda games are great, and we all know, blah, 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 great. Give us something a bit more interesting. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
But by all means, post in the user comments on each page and tell us if we're wrong, or tell us your games. For that matter.
We're actually interested to hear what other readers consider games, particularly ones that we've forgotten, and that'll get a little bit more relevant as we approach the 10, 9, 8,
the countdown
10 to 1, because at the moment people are going to go, well, my favourite game's not on this list, but of course we've currently got like from 50 to 30.
Actually, know what? There's quite a few favourite games that aren't on this list too.
Yeah, we actually dropped made some controversial decisions, because quite often Yug had something on his list, but I actually specifically omitted it because, you know what, I just didn't think it was that good.
And also vice versa.
So
we either had to drop it down much further on the list,
or omitted it entirely.
Actually, that was pretty much it. If I chose a game, but Matt hadn't played it, then
Yeah.
that's fine. It just sort of dropped down a bit. But if Matt had played it and he didn't actually think it was all that good,
Yeah.
it dropped down heaps, and the same vice versa. So
Like, I haven't played quite a lot of the Zelda games, for example, but I don't consider that makes them bad games. I just, so...
you just ruined it. Now people know
there might be a Zelda game in our top 50. Oh my god. We shouldn't just bother doing it at all now.
No, just give up. God.
In fact, the whole Australian game, let's just shut it down.
You suck, man. You gave it away.
So anyway, yeah, read that thing, because it's quite good.
Yeah. I really wish I had more to say today. I mean, there's been a few things. There was an article by one of the guys on PALGN last week where he was actually saying he rated our podcast as the number one podcast.
Yeah, we're apparently awesome podcasters, which is good to know, but clearly he has interesting standards for definition of that.
You really shouldn't try and insult the people who are actually.
No, I said he was interesting. That's not an insult.
But yeah,
we haven't actually had all that much to do with the guys at PLGN, but we should talk to them more, because one of the reasons that we actually started this site, other than scoring chicks and getting free stuff and so on, whatever, shut up.
Geek.
Anyway, one of the main reasons we started this is because there actually just really wasn't anything out there. There weren't any other any or many other Australian game sites that were really updating particularly regularly.
Yeah, there were.
There were only a few though, dude, and we've sort of come more into contact with the ones that were there now.
It's quite a few of them. PLGN to me always was one of the biggest multi-platform sort of game information websites aimed at gamers in general, and I actually check it pretty often. I signed up to the forums the other day. I think it's actually a really cool site.
Yeah,
I've
looked at it.
And James posts user comments occasionally. He's one of the guys from over there, so
there's
cool.
Another thing I like about them is they have a really good release schedule.
Yeah, actually it's kept quite up to date.
Yeah, so
that's
I
handy.
approve of that. So check them out, because they've supported us.
Go see them.
We'll support them.
They have our banner on their site too.
And they have a link to us.
Yeah.
So you can click on that.
Oh, dude, don't start. We have a link to them too.
We have a link to them, so you can just click back and forwards.
But,
and you can pop to the...
Well, anyway, look, anyone who actually read that article and is tuning in for the first time, thank you. I'm impressed you made it this far.
Go check out the website.
If by this time you're actually going, so where's the funny?
Yeah.
We apologise.
This is the standard. So don't blame us. Blame PLGN for steering you in the wrong direction.
There's usually a lot more abuse.
But it's worth pointing out. It's worth pointing out that at no point did the PLGN guys say that we were funny.
They just said we're the best.
They just said we're actually well informed. Reasonably, really? I believe the words were reasonably well informed. So
I think I actually got the impression it was more of, I guess Australian Gamer is the best of the lot at the moment.
Like, until someone actually does a good job of it. We should actually stop criticizing. But the thing is, if we criticize ourselves, then we kind of steal the thunder of anyone else. Because anyone can go, these guys are real amateurs. They do a crappy job of this. We just go, yeah. What's your point? Yeah, where are you going with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So look, I don't think we have anything else. We'll do another podcast next week,
and then
hopefully we'll have a lot more to talk about. I think.
We're trying to get some actual sales figures from Japan.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to try to actually find out exactly how well / badly it's doing, because Microsoft have actually invested a fair bit of money in actually getting it going in Japan, and they're actually taking it pretty seriously, and they could fall on their ass. And quite frankly, I enjoy the concept of Microsoft falling on their ass, because that's a big ass.
That's one huge ass.
It's bigger than Jess's.
It's a good thing she doesn't listen to this.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's about it. Thanks for tuning in. I think next week's podcast, it'd be nice to actually say some of the things we got planned Australian game for next year. Did that actually make sense?
Yeah, no, it did. I'm just thinking, what the hell have we got planned?
We do have plans.
I've been talking
to you about this for like the last couple of weeks.
I don't listen to you. What do we got planned?
For the, podcast stuff, and we got plans for the site and stuff and
Like what?
Well, I can't say it now. Don't make me hit you over the head with this wine bottle.
Yeah.
I didn't want to mention that.
No, I didn't. I was actually very well behaved. I didn't mention at all that Young's been taking slugs out of a bottle of champagne through the whole podcast. Because he's hot.
Well, there was nothing else in the fridge. You drank all the Coke.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's just go.
Alright, thanks for tuning in, and we'll hopefully talk to you next week.
We'll talk to you next week. Why wouldn't we?
We'll talk to ourselves.
We'll talk to ourselves. We might not record it, but we'll just sit in the room and chat.
Alright, see ya.
See ya.